This is Cortez Island, and this is our boat. After almost 3 years of being here, we're finally ready to begin a summer of cruising again, making our way from southern Vancouver Island to the Broughton Archipelago. But before we make our way that far north, through some pretty crazy currents and tight waters, we're going to head to a nice protected harbor on Cortez Island where we can relax, refuel, and enjoy ourselves after so many months of working so hard to get this boat back in the water. That is, if the weather will allow it. I'm Taryn, this is Logan, this is Max, and this summer we're also traveling with our friends May and Marty and their dog Pepper on their boat Wind Gypsy, so you'll probably see quite a bit of them as well. Our goal is to make it to our favorite place, Mackenzie Sound in the Northern Broughtons. Once we're there, we can relax in nature, fish, forage, and preserve some of our favorite foods, and finally get back to living the life we want to live. But in between us and the Broughtons are big winds, dangerous currents, and the frustrations that come with an unfinished boat. Join us to find out if we reach our goal, or if this boat proves to be even more trouble than it's already been. We left Pender Harbor after a day and a half with a bunch of apprehension, but also excited about moving on to somewhere that we could relax for a few days.
We are heading further north, and it looks a little spicy out there, but not nearly as bad as the other day, so hopefully we'll have a bit calmer of a sail.
2 days earlier, we'd sailed our boat for the first time in 3 years in some pretty heavy weather, and we didn't want that again. So we headed out with the confidence of knowing that we could handle what was to come, even if we didn't want to, and that a lovely rest was waiting for us on the other side. Our plan was to break our travels up into 2 days. The first we would head to Lund for the night before heading to Gorge Harbor the next day. In order to do this, we would head north between the Sunshine Coast and Ch6E7 Island in a body of water known as Malaspina Strait. Malaspina Strait is an area of water that many frequenters of the Salish Sea have a story of frustration from. Last time we were here, the wind was forecast to be blowing 15 knots northwest, just on the other side of the island. But instead of that forecasted wind, we got 20 knots right on the nose, blowing southeast in Malaspina Strait, while it was blowing northwest in the Strait of Georgia. The sea state can also get very uncomfortable here as winds funnel down this narrow bit of water and out of the fjords that feed into it.
It's not the best conditions because the wind isn't matching the sea state, but
It's not too bad.
it's not bad at all.
Pender Harbor, and we were on a beam reach for quite a while with quite a bit of swell coming in from the Strait of Georgia. We're in Malaspina Strait right now, which is between Ch6E7 and Sunshine Coast. So we had to go on a beam reach for quite a bit, and it was definitely not as uncomfortable as the other day, but it wasn't comfortable. Now we're finally heading downwind. We're on a broad reach, and the sea state is a lot more comfortable. It's nuts. Also, when we sailed this boat for like the 6 months that we sailed it before hauling it out to spend the last 3 years rebuilding it, we didn't have a ton of experience downwind sailing it. First time we tried to downwind sail, we only put the head sail up, mostly because I was afraid of putting the mainsail up with the amount of wind that we had. And it was not well balanced. We were all over the place. But now that we've got more confidence, we've got 2 reefs in the main, and we've got the head sail reefed, and we are very perfectly balanced. We have between, I'd say we got about 15 knots right now of wind. And we are still going 6.2 knots, again on a broad reach heading downwind, and it's really comfortable. I'm really enjoying myself up here, and I'm really surprised actually at how good I'm feeling at the helm right now and just sailing, because again, 3 years on the hard, and we didn't have that much experience sailing before we hauled out, so yeah, I'm feeling really good. We didn't see any more than 15 knots that day, and it was a very wonderful and relaxing way to enjoy our second sail back on the water. Located in the traditional territory of the Ch6E7 people, Lund is a beautiful little seasonal town north of Powell River. Just south of Desolation Sound, it's a great place to stop off if you're going to be heading out exploring that part of the world. It has a few small shops, a tasty restaurant, and a small harbor. And we even found local veggies in the Ch6E7-owned grocery store. Well folks, as you can hear, the engine is on and we are back out again. First time since we launched the boat that we're actually going to be motoring for a full sail, which is kind of cool. 2 out of 3 days we sailed the whole time. That's really good for around here. But we have left Lund, which was fantastic, super fun, and now we are on our way to Cortez for a couple of days. There's a nice farmer's market in Manson Landing that I really want to hit on Friday. Today's Wednesday, and the sun is back out after a few days of rain and clouds, so it's going to be a very hot motor all the way over there, but what do you do? It kind of felt weird to be motoring for the first time instead of sailing, and there was always the chance that we had done something wrong and the engine would quit, leaving us floating with no option for propulsion. But it was such a beautiful day on the water that we couldn't be mad about it. So today is being treated as an engine check day, just to make sure that all the work that we've done is actually gonna, work out, that things aren't gonna overheat. So Logan installed a bilge fan. What do you call it? A bilge blower? Yeah, it's basically just circulating air through the engine compartment so that everything stays nice and cool. Mostly our alternator, which we were having issues before getting hot enough to melt the belts off and go into limp mode. All the engine checks went great, and we soon arrived safely in Gorge Harbor, where we figured out why it's called the Gorge. So we're officially anchored, and for the first time on this boat, we're into the road, past the chain. We've got like 200 and some feet out. Gorge Harbor, or the Gorge as it's locally known, is home to Gorge Harbor Resort. This resort is enjoyed by visitors and locals alike, boasting great hangout facilities, laundry, showers, and even a store. So right now I'm sitting here at Gorge Harbor in the kind of resort area. It's right by the main dock. There's RV sites here, there's campsites here. There are a ton of seating areas and kind of community areas which seem to be used by the entire community, not just by the people staying here. Yeah, it's a really nice spot. I don't have any cell service right now, but there is a little bit of Wi-Fi here, which is really helping. And we're not even at the marina and we're still able to use it. So they also have events every night. Like tonight is supposed to be a movie night pretty close to here. This morning I did yoga for free on the dock, which was fantastic. There's music, live music. So a pretty freaking great spot, and I highly recommend stopping here if you're going through Cortez Bay area. It's great. Cortez Island is the traditional territory of the Klahoose, Homelco, and Ch6E7 First Nations, with Squirrel Cove still being the main home of the Klahoose people. Cortez Island has kind of become an unofficial hub for traveling to Desolation Sound, as well as for people who are looking for a different way of life. Well renowned for its artisan and hippie community, as well as scientific community, this island is an eclectic mix of people. Although on the surface it looks like the perfect place to come and spend time, there are quite a few serious issues that are plaguing the island and in some ways have only been made worse by the tourism industry. One of the biggest issues here is that in recent years it has also become a hotspot for people looking to purchase vacation homes for the summers. Private vacation home buyers have driven the cost of property to the point that, even though it takes 2 ferries to get here, houses are as expensive as they are in the nearest city of Campbell River. But unlike in Campbell River, there's not a lot of room here for building new homes, which means that the locals are constantly being priced out and spaced right off of the island. This, mixed with tourists and newcomers who don't understand the ecology of these places, has contributed to some negative implications to the environment of this incredible place. So after speaking to a few community members, I was given the following recommendations in order to be a good guest. Firstly, don't buy property here unless you're planning to be a full-time resident, or at least offer affordable housing to already existing residents at an affordable rate. Secondly, be very mindful of the nature that you might be impacting. Stick to trails and try not to harvest foods in areas that are heavily frequented by people, especially in parks. Thirdly, generally stick to areas that have been designated for tourism or general community use unless invited by a community member. And keep in mind that you're in someone else's home when you're visiting, sharing the homes of not only people but animals too. When we're out in the world in general, it's up to us if we choose to look at our interactions as a transaction or as an opportunity to build community. And it's my hope that everyone watching this channel has the desire to build community and relationships through reaching a deeper understanding of those we are affecting. We're in relationship with every person, animal, and plant we come in contact with, and it's up to us to decide through our actions what kind of relationships those are going to be. If you're a visitor to Cortez and you'd like to give back directly, I have a link below to help you give to an organization that is working to protect a piece of forest on Cortez, called the Cortez Children's Forest Trust. So it's Friday, and on this very sunny Friday we're about to leave Gorge Harbor and go over to Manson's Landing, which is just around the corner. We're not taking the big boat though, we're just going in the dinghy. It is me, Logan, and May. You remember May? Yep.
So I should have brought my rain jacket. I should have brought my rain jacket.
Silly May.
Yes, last time Taryn drove us, I was the windshield.
Oh, that's true, yeah. No. So last time May rode in the dinghy with me, it was the one time during the entire day that we had over 10 knots of wind, and May was in the front of the dinghy, and I did not drive very well, so she got very wet. But today it won't be like that because it's very calm out here. But anyway, Manson's Landing has a great farmer's market, and the one thing I miss the most about being on land and living a regular life in the summertime is farmers markets. So we're gonna go and we're gonna get some good veggies and hopefully be well stocked for the next week or two.
Long way to roll.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's gonna be a good test for the motor or a good test for our arms.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sweet.
Awesome.
3 apiece.
One of my favorite parts of visiting markets like this is that you can often find indie authors selling their books, like this one. We went home with a great haul of veggies and had a great dinner that night, made almost completely with local Cortez and Vancouver Island foods. Looks like a cannonball to me, sir.
Looks like a cannonball to me.
How does it feel to be able to swim off our boat again? Pretty great.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's hard to describe the feeling. But it is fantastic, whatever that is.
Whatever the feeling is, it's fantastic.
No, it's really nice to be able to swim off the boat and to be somewhere where the water's actually clean enough to swim.
Okay, I'm gonna go see if I can find salt water soap because I bought soap specifically so that we could like wash ourselves in salt water. And if that works, it'll be great. So yeah.
Yep.
We'll talk to you guys later. And in case you're wondering, the special saltwater soap did not do the job that it had advertised. Thanks so much for watching. Next time we head through one of the most dangerous places on our coast on our way to one of the most beautiful places on our coast. See you then.